meeting is now being recorded.
And I hating towards this type of acronyms. So this is about the Adaptive Lighting Adoption Coalition. I still have a hard time remembering this thing. I'm confused with the adaptive and the... But you can see now that there are quite a lot of you that are involved in this project. Truly the objective of this project is to focus on making things happen in the real world in terms of adaptive lighting. We know now that it works. We know that it offers good benefit. It takes you beyond the standard light source or luminaire replacement, which can save you quite a lot of energy. But we have noticed that with controls, adaptive lighting for day lighting, for occupancy, etc., you get extra savings. And in fact, from the very early days, when the outdoor LED fixtures were about $1,500 each, we saw that the extra savings from controls would really drop down the payback period significantly. Right now, we consider them a no-brainer, as I mentioned. We changed almost all of the exterior lighting, and now we're getting interior of buildings, focusing first on corridors and hallways and stairwells, again, places where people usually are not there, and it drops the light levels to a lower level. And the key focus of these projects is to adopt this type of a strategy in a widespread fashion by creating some documents on recommended lighting practice, explaining people how to do it, what to pay attention to. Working with industry and regulatory agencies to understand codes and standards that may affect positively and or negatively use of adaptive lighting. We have seen them going in the next version of Title 24. We have seen ASHRAE, and again, they are not widespread. There are limitations, and how far off passive. We have identified there the three circles there are the three main areas, foci areas that we're going to be moving on: recommended practice, education, codes and standards to make things happen. And on the previous meeting in Ontario in February 28, we more or less launched this program, and we've reviewed the goals and missions, discussed the first year's priority. Here we are on what we call phase 2. There was a phase 1 that was supported only by BC Hydro. Now we are into the phase 2, which is going to start implementing adaptive lighting white paper. In there, we want to define the concepts, the best practices, try to address and see and understand the current federal and state codes. In a couple of years in California, some of this adaptive lighting will be actually the law. Recommended lighting design concepts, information barriers to take them down and see this. Again, the activity timeline is this is what we're going to be doing from now. Then we have the occupancy studies assessment. We're going to collect existing studies. We have quite a lot of exterior lighting. We have quite a lot of interior lighting, but many others are doing those. Collect all of those data and criteria that they use to adjust the light. We are focusing on occupancy, day lighting, and time of day because we consider those to be the no-brainer. You heard Milena yesterday and today addressing the bio lighting. We think that that is coming into the future. We have first time that lighting will have some important for us, but we don't plan to address. It's cost effective. We know that people understand. It's been tried extensively, making it a no-brainer for widespread adoption. We will leverage utility work to develop exterior occupancy profiles, the project for, and in here I got a question about, from you it was on safety, and I thought it was a question about, we will try to address, and the codes and standards, which again, it was actually, we will try to understand and work with codes and standards organizations to make sure that we understand how we can be compatible, or if we are not, how to become compatible, codes, and also include, again, develop methodologies. We heard that before from Irfan. We have seen that as a huge major problem. It seems like whenever we have controls, it is close to impossible to understand how the savings that are being claimed have been measured. Everybody is using their own method, their own baselines, to standardize these processes. Wrote this issue to the attention of NEMA, and actually many NEMA members have brought it up, that an organization will address this issue so that we are able to compare effectively. When we claim savings, people understand what the assumption savings based on NEMA protocol XY time frame. That's going to be happening in the beginning. Here is the savings methodology actually that I mentioned before. Again, this for me is the most challenging and most used. And again, it's not difficult to come up with a methodology. It's extremely difficult to make people agree that this is the methodology that everybody uses, and that's where the challenge is going to come later. Finally, the codes and standards that I mentioned before. I was really try and understand code language, case studies, and try to influence to make sure we remove any potential barriers and to create positive environments that will support and facilitate and accelerate the budget that we put together for the first year. You can see the white paper, cost savings methodology, the codes and standards support, and then the coordination of the whole effort with the...
I was at the kickoff meeting.
Phase one was developing these concepts and identifying these particular areas that we're going to work on, put together and then bring it to everybody and make sure that we get the feedback to get this thing off the ground. So phase one was really putting together the proposal to present to all of the... That was, I recall that I thought that I had put that. I did, and here is the definition of adaptive lighting. Adaptive lighting is lighting that automatically adjusts its output. And if you recall, I had, I think it was that presentation, but it was, there are many different ways to control light output of a luminaire. You can control the intensity, which is the most common one, and you can also control the spatial distribution, how the light, the last one is the spectral power distribution, which I said, here we will mostly focus on intensity, and the key words there is automation, and the other word is on criteria that are based on sensing the environment, and we're going to be sensing at this initial point occupancy and daylight. Of course, the scheduling is a no-brainer. So it's sensing the environment and responding to it.
Follow up the presentation. So I think.
By the way, there is a statement of work, a detailed statement of work that was circulated to all of the list here for reduction slide. Yeah, I have split them into there were these three main focus areas. I was trying to put them white paper, occupancy studies assessment, cost and savings calculation, and codes and standards. And here are all along with their costs. Is this both indoor and outdoor? Yes. Yes.
Okay. And is it just California?
We have quite a lot that we have done, the CLTC has done quite a lot over the last, but we will consider all kinds of other studies that have been done because we like to compare results. No, we're going to consider again, in general, the whole interested in ASHRAE, which seems to be the states are going after. Truly, we believe that to transform the market where the adoption will come, do it again with the carrot and the stick, the same, or with codes becoming the stick and incentive. I think that